Howdy, everyone. I hope you all are having a great evening. I am here tonight with another topic that is causing me some hesitation. I'm just going to be real. I prayed about what I wanted to talk about tonight, and God is just like, well, you've been transparent and honest. Don't deviate from that. So, as you can see, I'm still here at my mom's house, and day three, I want to say, as she's progressing well, getting plenty of rest. And the topic tonight is about caring for an elderly parent and what that feels like, the emotions that come up. This is probably to date the most sensitive topic that I have brought up on this platform. My desire is to always be transparent and to give you the real, as I say, and that sometimes means touching on areas that are quite sensitive, but also evoke emotion and also will help other people. A long time ago, my sisters and I decided, even before my father passed away in 2016, that we would come together and make sure that we cared for our parents. First, let me just say, and I've said this in previous videos with different contexts. I'm fighting with these decorative things again on the table. Is that we're so glad to have each other, the three of us, and we, through the course of time, have been so thankful with the realization that what would we do if we didn't have each other? We are so glad that they decided to connect at least three times to produce us. All jokes aside, though, as you watch your parent, guardian, or parent's age, it's not easy. I wrote down on my piece of paper in front of me for my notes for this segment and the next. This is going to be a two-parter. I wrote down twice. It's hard. It is hard because you are looking at the person that raised you, gave you life, took care of you. Now the roles are reversed. If you live long enough, and if your parents live long enough, excuse me, I'm just going to shift in my chair, you will experience that. And it is a beautiful thing because for those of us who are believers, we know that growing old is a privilege. Not everybody gets to grow old. There are a lot of folks that have left here at a young age, and so just being thankful for the ability to age and appreciating the changes and shifts in life, not just for the parent that's aging, but also for the children that are caring for, watching, how that relationship changes as they then need care. My sisters and I are different. While we are very similar in a lot of areas, we process differently, we have different experiences, and so we are blessed to learn from each other. And through lots of extra care and I'm not ashamed to say therapy over the years, just to deal with a lot of different life things, we have developed language that gives each other space for how we feel and some of the stressors that come with watching our parent age. So, tonight is going to be part one, and tomorrow we'll get into part two, which will be more tips, not more, but tips and things, strategies, whatever word you want to call it. I don't want to make this a science project, but what we do and what we've learned to do over time to make it easy for us. Tonight, I'm just going to talk about what it means to feel all the feels. So, if you're out there and you have gone through this process, one thing that I want you to do is know that you are not alone. If you are going through this process, you're not alone. This is a club that has a lot of members, and one day we'll be the president of our own club as we age ourselves. If you have gone through this and you have tips, I'm going to do the call to action early. I would love for you to put them in the comment section. We've learned a lot because we have helped other families have helped us. We Google, we research, because again, we're STEMinists, but we are very close with the community that my parents have developed in the hometown that we grew up in. And so that network of people who are also their contemporaries are also aging, and some have gone on, but we're not doing this alone. We're doing this caregiving, care, management in concert with other people who are our eyes and ears our eyes, ears, and hands when we can't be here. So I'm going to publicly thank, and I'm not going to name because I'm going to miss some folks, but I'm going to thank the community that is adjacent, the neighbors, everyone who has loved on my parents. My parents are community minded people. My father was a community minded man. My mom is a community minded person. So when it comes to people who are there to help and who are concerned, there's an abundance of those folks. I'm going to pivot and just talk about what that means for the children. And I won't get too deep into the relationships, even though it's an important part of how you're going to manage your parent or your parents. And I also can't speak from the perspective of being an only child. What I can say is my heart goes out to the only children because it is even more pressure because you're an only child, and my prayer is that you have a cousin or a family friend that can help you with the process of caring for your parent or parents as they age, that you're not doing this completely alone, that you found community as well. So I also want to nod my head to you in this process. I've learned to be very kind to myself throughout this whole thing. And you're going to hear me keep saying it, but it is so true to give grace because as an adult, I have a family, I've got a job, I've got a very active life, and I'm blessed to also have a partner who also has a family, who also has other family members that he has to take care of. So we do it together, and we've grown into making sure that we support one another. Support is really important. But if you first beat yourself up, it is hard to receive help and to receive support because you are so busy, you know, not being kind to yourself and giving yourself grace to adjust to just elder care in general and what that means. I'm also going to say that your communication is your friend and your ally, and your ability to ask questions and be curious is going to really help you. My sisters and I just happen to be who we are, and we're leaders, we're teachers, we're scientists, and so we obviously ask questions. That's part of our training, our education. So when we are with mom individually, collectively, we we learn to communicate with her because we each have our own individual relationship with her too. So that curiosity and asking questions is really helpful because I'll ask a question to her and she'll answer. And then my sister, my younger sister, will ask a question and then she'll answer. And then my older sister will ask the same question and we will get three different answers. And those three different answers combined gets us closer to the truth. So that is a blessing and something that we've learned to do. The feelings. I'm so trying to not talk about it. Not that I'm afraid of emoting on YouTube, it's just that there's so many feelings. Oh my gosh. You want your parent to be cared for. You want to be there at all times. There's so much you can do with technology. Again, we've talked about the neighbors and the community. At the end of the day, the relationship that you have with your parent pretty much dictates the feelings and the amount of feelings, the amount of heft, the weight of it, and or whether or not it is something that is not an issue. It's just like, we've had this relationship. It's been a great relationship, and these are the things that we need to do. This is what we've talked about, and so we're just gonna go ahead and execute that. Good, healthy relationships allow that process of caregiving to be more smooth, but there's still some rocky points in that as well, but it's definitely more smooth. So I don't want to touch on or trigger anyone that did not have a good relationship with their parents or does not have a good relationship with your parents. I do believe that you can still be there, care for your parent, even if the relationship is rocky. It just means you have to go about it a different way. From my point of view, my sisters and I don't always agree on some things, but we always talk it through. And sometimes that's through tears, sometimes that's through frustration. I've hung up on one of my sisters before because I was just out, I was just aggravated, which was not the right behavior. And I called and I apologized and I said, "You didn't deserve that. And I'm sorry." Because when I am not able to be in place or understand what's happening, I get anxious, I get frustrated, and it just comes out on whoever is near, which is not good. So, being kind, being graceful to yourself, and being honest allows you to do the work that you need to do to feel the feels and then be able to understand what it is that you need to do. It's so ironic that the videos that I've posted have that's been a common theme of finding language, understanding how you feel, being able to articulate it so that you're good. When you are caretaking for uh, a relative or a friend, you need to be good because it is the foundation of the level of care that you're going to give. So, my practice, me personally, and I'll probably end with this thought, is that I do pray a lot. I know that my mom is covered. God protects her way better than my sisters and I ever could. And is he dispatches us, He sends us where we need to be. He clears the way for us to be there right on time in so many different moments that I can't even mention. So, my faith and my mother's faith, which my parents imparted upon us, has really helped keep me grounded. It has helped my prayer life. I pray with my mom. I pray for my mother. She has her own prayer life. She has a foundation as well. And in those tough moments, even we've had some tense moments, we are able to bring it back to center. So I encourage you that whatever your faith walk is, strengthen it. Strengthen it because that's going to really help you navigate emotions. It's going to help you navigate tough moments, especially if you are not close by. So I'm 2.5 hour drive from getting from my home to here. And during the course of the day, I've got a lot of different obligations, a lot of different meetings, a lot of different places where I'm committed to being and where I'm supposed to be. I said that the previous point was my last point, but I lied. I'm going to make this my last point. When you are caring for an elderly parent, whether they have medical issues or whether they just need general care, your priorities have to be aligned. They have to be aligned and communicated to every touch point of your life so that people know how to manage expectations when it comes to you and your family. If you have dispatched that to someone that you've hired to care for your elderly loved ones, however you do it, people need to understand that when it comes to your parent or your family member that you're caring for, that they have priority. And depending on the type of job you have or the places you're expected to be, you may need to have a conversation about that. I definitely have in the last 5 or 6 years, as my mom has gotten up in age, but also I have had to have that conversation with family and with friends, coworkers, bosses, leaders to say, this is how I operate. When that phone rings and it's my mom, understand that I'm going to take the call. I'm going to excuse myself from the meeting, even if I'm in the middle of talking. I will pause and then I will come back because I need you to understand that she is my priority. She just is. And this is not judgment. I don't know where everybody is in their life with their relationship, but this video, the part one, is just a conversation about the reality of aging parents and the opportunity that we have to return the love that was given, give the love that was never provided, and be an example of God's love to one another if it was absent. It's an opportunity either way you look at it. And I want you to remember that you're not in this alone. Please, in the comments, let me know what your experience has been, and if you have any tips or if there's some things that you do. This is part one. I'm going to come back with part two, and I'm going to get a little more specific about some of the tools that my sisters and I have come up with over time, what we've learned, and areas that we can still learn some more in. So I hope this helped, and I look forward to seeing you in part two. Have a good night.